side. This azkar, I hope that all of us have memorized it by heart. You do it every day, not only when you are in my class, but every morning after the Fajr prayer you can start. If you forgot, then you do it when you remember. Yeah? Even if you forget until noon come, you can still recite, because if you forget something, not purposely that you are not going to make this zikr, Allah Rabbul Alameen will not hold on and Allah won't blame us for that, because being human, we have our own weaknesses here and there, because of the busyness in this life cause us to forget Allah Rabbul Alameen. And that's why the Prophet ﷺ was reminded by Allah, وَذَاكِرِينَ اللَّهَ كَثِيرًا وَالذَّاكِرَاتِ, for those male or female who try their best to remember Allah a lot. Yeah? That means anything you do in your life, you always remember Him. Yeah? At least by saying Bismillah before the beginning of anything, and say Alhamdulillah at the end of anything that you have done, inshallah. Yeah? Then Allah promised us, A'adallahu lahum ma'firatan wa ajran azima. Allah will prepare a great reward for those who always remember Him, and also He will forgive all our sin. And this is what we need from Allah Rabbul Alameen. We have remind all the good Jama'ah who perform Hajj this year, even they have gone through a lot of new experiences. May Allah Rabbul Alameen make them have the Hajj Mabrura, Sa'yan Mashkura, Zamban Ma'fura, so that they will return home with their family, to their family, like how they were reborn again, inshallah, yeah, without sin, inshallah. Yeah. Hajj Mabrur, the Prophet said, for them is Jannah. Yeah. So may Allah Rabbul Alameen make it easier for all of us who have not been to Hajj yet, to prepare ourselves for this journey. It's a journey that will enrich you with a lot of things, yeah? And a journey that you will never forget in your lifetime, inshallah. Yeah? Brothers and sisters, inshallah, we'll continue with our topic on, we're not supposed to talk about death a lot, but this is something that is sure to happen. Huh? Allah Rabbul Alameen remind us that wa'bur rabbaka hatta ya'tiyakal yaqin, meaning Allah said we as a believer should always try our best to worship Allah. The sound is okay. That can the sister brother can hear me? Can you increase the sound, the volume? No, you increase the volume. The increase already. Paling besar already. I think you have to do something that's going to adjust something. The echo, huh? Now is it better? Normally the sound is okay. La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah. We have a lot of sound problem even when we are in Mina, when we are performing our Hajj. They have a good loudspeaker, but still we have some sound problem. So we thought that it happened only in Hajj, but it so happened in our center today. Yeah, it's a trial from Allah Rabbul Alameen for all of us, inshallah. Now Allah Rabbul Alameen said to us that we should try our level best to keep on remembering Allah, worshipping Allah until our time comes. Hatta ya'ti yaqin. In this ayah, Allah referred to death as yaqin. Allah used the term yaqin because death is certain. No one can deny death. Whether you're Muslim or not yet Muslim, everybody know sooner or later we will have to go home. Yeah? To Allah Rabbul Alameen. Now only the beauty of Islam Islam is not just a religion that teaches us how to live as a Muslim, but also is here to teach us how to die as a Muslim. And that's why Allah said, وَلَا تَمُوتُنَّ إِلَّا وَأَنْتُمْ مُسْلِمُونَ. Make sure that none of us die until we have submit to Allah's ruling. Meaning even after your death, there are rule and regulation that the living have to do for us. If they do not do it properly, no sin upon us. The sin will be upon those who are still living, who do not fulfill their responsibility as fellow Muslim to another Muslim. We know that the Prophet said, Al-Muslim, Haqq al-Muslim ala Muslim sittun, meaning every Muslim to another Muslim, there are 6 basic rights. One of them is when somebody passes away. It is our duty to make sure that his body or her body is been washed properly, shrouded properly, perform the prayer properly, and been buried in the right place and according to the teaching of Islam. This is why we believe that Islamic system is from Mahya wal Mamat. Inna salati wa nusuki wa mahyaya wa mamati. Now this is what we always say to Allah, that our living must be guided by Islam for the sake of Allah, and our dying also, we must die as a Muslim and follow the guidance of Islam. Yeah. Now one thing that happened to us lately in this country, we as Muslims have no right to interfere in anyone's death. If they don't die as a Muslim, we cannot interfere. We have to honor their right, whatever they believe. Lakum dinukum waliyadin. If this is what they believe, then they will have to make their own arrangement. Even our own family, we love them so much, but if they choose not to die as a Muslim, nobody can reinforce the Islamic ritual upon them. It's haram. We cannot do that. The same thing we pray and hope that when we as a Muslim pass away, especially those who revert to Islam, we hope that their family will show and honor her or his right to be buried as a Muslim. Normally we don't interfere in other people's funeral, but a lot of cases when something happened to the Muslim, especially when they revert, there's a lot of issues going on, to the extent that these things have been brought to the parliament, to the law makers, to decide the best way to solve this problem. But Islam have taught us from the beginning, when people who are not yet Muslim, they have their own value, we don't interfere. Lakum dinukum waliyadin. But we just don't understand why our right is not being protected. We allow people to challenge our right. We should educate them, make them understand. This is important. Even among the Chinese family, if one of the family who choose to be a Christian and die as a Christian, they do honor their right. They will be buried in the Christian cemetery. We will do the ritual according to the Christian way. They don't mix with other way anymore, because that is their choice. We choose what we want to be. So, but when it comes to Islam, you always have some issue. We do not know why. Maybe because of the weaknesses of the Muslim, or maybe we allow people to interfere in our religious matter. Since we have the understanding by law, the freedom of religion is given to every citizen, we hope that everybody will learn how to honor this right, these basic rights. Now let us go back to the topic. I think if I'm not wrong, we should be talking on chapter 6. Are we talking on chapter 6? About shrouding the body. Ruling. Shrouding the dead body is a communal obligation, fardu kifaya. Fardu kifaya means somebody must know how to do it. The rest of the community then is not responsible. Yeah? Because the Prophet sometimes repeated commands in Atiyah radiallahu anha hadith, after the woman finished washing Zainab radiallahu anha, Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam gave him his izar and commanded, wrap her with it. Yeah. Ashirnaha. Iyahu, also in Ibn Abbas narration, earlier hadith, page 25, regarding the man who died in a state of ihram, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam commanded them, وَقَفَنُوهُ فِي ثَوْبَيْهِ الَّذِينَ أَحْرَمْ فِيهِمَا الَّذِينَ أَحْرَمْ فِيهِمَا, and shroud him in the two garments, the ihram garment in which he performed ihram. Do not embalm or perfume him, and do not cover his head or face, because for a man, when they are in ihram, they cannot wear any cap. Yeah, they must expose their head. No cap. For the woman, they have their hijab, but for the man, normally you wear cap, but when in ihram, you cannot wear any cap. You can wear umbrella. Use umbrella. Yeah. This year they introduced a very unique umbrella in Saudi Arabia, but that umbrella was not available in Mecca. It only can be bought in Jeddah. Only next year, then they said they'll be able to sell it in Mecca. It's a very unique idea of came from the Saudis, but made in China. We know a lot of things is from China now, whether you like it or not. Yeah? But this umbrella, they can help you to keep yourself cool. Yeah? We bought when we were in Jeddah to give a khutbah. Then I remember the umbrella. They brought me to the stores. It's costly, 100 over ringgit per umbrella. And then they use a battery. They got a fan under it. And then you can just use any mineral bottle. You plug in, you screw in. They got a straw to suck in the water, and the water will come up. The fan, mashallah, is very unique. Very unique. Alhamdulillah. It looked nice. You can use a smaller one, and then keep on press the water to come up. Keep yourself cool a bit, inshallah. Unique, very unique. But anybody who buy any kind of umbrella, we just informed them last night. Please make sure that they check in the umbrella. Don't bring in on board. They will throw all umbrellas. Because I was in Jeddah airport for more than 8 hours. 3 hours sitting near an area to watch what is happening. The Saudi airline people said you can sit here while we are making arrangement, but because everybody was so busy, they just forget about me. But I don't mind. I was looking at new experience, looking what's happening before they reach the immigration. So everybody will come with their hand luggage. Majority have problem. They throw your extra luggage. Say one, no umbrella. Don't tell me any umbrella except a walking stick. So somebody will come back again to pretend that he's holding a walking stick, and then they saw his umbrella, they took it and threw it again. He is very, very hard for the Hujjaz, because everybody will want to buy something back, but they just cannot bought with that kind of hand carry. There was a cleaner, sweeper just waiting. Throw, keep. Some bags have to be left behind. You can't do anything, because the ruling is that you cannot bring it more than one. But they give you 2 luggage, 2 bag, 25 kilo for each. So you just have to check in. This is why I inform our team. Please make sure that when you want to check in, don't bring all these things along, because they will just throw. They say no means no. Then later on, the higher officer came and said, not only that, I want all the machine, the waiting machine, to be there. Last time they are a bit relaxed. Now, no. The bag must enter that small machine. We know when we go to the airport. And then if there is, then they must check the weight again. I got caught a bit because my weight's a bit more than 5 kilo. Then I go to another corner. And the guy saw me and said, okay, alhamdulillah. So sometimes it helps. You just have to have a lot of patience. Don't give up. There's a lot of happening. The people who went in and then they start to signal the people outside. You push the bag from the, I'll come and carry it. And then they caught them back and throw them out again. Some ministers got through, alhamdulillah. This is a lot of new thing that we see from time to time, alhamdulillah. Now let's come back to this, the ihram. Shroud him with 2 garments in which he performed ihram. Whoever die while performing Hajj or Umrah, when they are in that state of ihram, do not change the ihram. The same ihram to shroud them. Don't change. The Prophet do not allow us to change, and do not embalm or perfume him, because people who want ihram, you cannot wear perfume. That's why you cannot do this to them. And do not cover their head or face. Therefore, after washing the body of a dead Muslim, a number of Muslims must hasten to shroud it in preparation for burial. Then once somebody is doing the washing, you have another team is preparing the shrouding. The garment. That is the best way. We do not delay. Now, recommended shroud. A good shroud. Jabir bin Abdullah reported that Prophet Muhammad sallallahu gave a speech one day in which he mentioned one of his companions who died and was shrouded in a short shroud and buried during the night. You can bury the dead body even at night if the graveyard people who are in charge of the graveyard, they are prepared for that. Malaysia lately, alhamdulillah, they are also responding in certain graveyard. Even after Isha, they do allow you to bury the deceased. But in Saudi and Arab country, normally they'll do it, because they are ready for that. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam prohibited that a man be buried during the night before the janazah prayer could be performed for him, unless one is forced to do that. And this is something, before you do anything, at least you must make sure that Salatul Janazah is being performed. We have problems, sometimes people want to hasten, but they forget that the latest responsibility, the last responsibility for a Muslim to another Muslim is to perform the funeral prayer. Even one have performed it, is considered as Fardu Kifayah again. Funeral prayer also is Fardu Kifayah. If there's one Muslim who have done that, then the rest don't have to do. But if you encounter those revert, especially die and then their parent quickly buried them. Their parent quickly buried them without washing, without shrouding according to the Islamic way. They also dressed the dead body properly, but not according to the Islamic way. Then they quickly buried them Islamically. You don't have to go and dig up the grave again. You just can perform funeral prayer, not in that graveyard, because it's been buried in a not yet Muslim graveyard, the non-Muslim graveyard. The Prophet allowed us to perform Salatul Mayat Ghaib, where the body is not in front of you. But you don't have to go and dig it and create unnecessary issues. Sometimes this happen. A lot of things happen in our country, don't happen in other country, because from the beginning people are very careful. But from the beginning we are not careful. We allow a lot of political things to happen people politicize, not only when you are living, after your death also people want to politicize the issue. Just too bad, it happened. Maybe one day when people understand their rights being honored, our rights should be honored, things will improve, inshallah. Now the Prophet ﷺ is telling us, "Iza kafana ahadukum akhahu fayuhassin kafatahu in istata'a." When one of you shroud his brother, let him do it well if he can. And that's why the Prophet ﷺ highly recommended people who want to do this are people who have some sound knowledge. They have the knowledge of the Sunnah, how the Prophet wants us to shroud our brothers or the sisters in the best manner you can. Anas also reported that Allah's Messenger ﷺ said, "Iza waliya ahadukum akhahu fayuhsin kafanahu fa innahum yub'athuna fi aqfanihim." When one of you is responsible for his deceased brother or sister, let him shroud him well, because they will be resurrected in their shrouds. They will be resurrected in the same manner, inshallah. Shrouding well means that the shroud should be clean, thick, not transparent, long enough to cover the entire body, and of a moderate cost, and apparent, not to be too expensive. We don't waste. Islam do not want us to waste when we are alive. The same thing Islam do not want us to waste when we die. Where not yet Muslim may have their own way, but we don't follow their way because we are Muslim. We have our own way of doing things. It does not mean providing an extravagant, expensive, or lavish shroud. That means you don't have, even you love the person, you don't have to do that. That kind of money that you spend for a dead person is better for you to give Sadaqa on their name. They'll get more reward from Allah Rabbul Alameen. Imam Nawawi, the one who makes Shara of Sahih Muslim, requires the shroud to be comparable to the type of clothing that the deceased used to wear during his life. Just be the kind of clothing that normally when we are alive we used to spend on on buying our clothes. However, this opinion has no evidence. It's just an opinion from Imam Nawawi. Now this is very important for all of us as students of knowledge. When a scholar gives an opinion, we can respect their opinion, but it's not our reference. It's just another opinion. But when the opinion is backed up with evidence, that means it is not their opinion. No. That means it is from the Prophet ﷺ that they are exposed to that hadith and they're sharing with us. So remember this very important thing. If the opinion is just from the scholar, remember it is just an opinion. All the great scholars, even Imam Shafi, Hanbali, Maliki, and Hanafi, have made it very clear to their student. If anytime you come across our opinion that contradict the hadith of the Prophet, the Sunnah, abandon our opinion. Because we are just human, may make mistake here and there. Maybe when the time the issue was there, we don't have the reference. But we as scholars must give a verdict. So I will give the best of my knowledge, then I will give a statement. Anytime if my opinion contradict the Sunnah of the Prophet, abandon mine and follow the Sunnah. That is our way. So to hold on the opinion of the scholar, even the evidence is there, is very wrong. It's against their fatwa. It's just like when I'm teaching all of you one day, I said, this is my opinion. I didn't quote any evidence to you. And you don't have any evidence, then you can hold to my opinion. But once you are exposed to the Sunnah of the Prophet, then it's your duty to follow the Sunnah. You don't have to hold to my opinion anymore. I'm not responsible for that. Yeah? Just an example. Yeah? But today a lot of people, when they talk about Islam, they always like to refer to opinions. You know, we don't know why. What happened to this ummah? When Islam have made it very clear, al-halal bayn wal-haram bayn. Everything that is from Allah, halal, haram, the do and don't, is clear. The only thing that Islam allow us to entertain is dunyawi. Dunyawi, the Prophet said, Antum a'lamu bi umuri dunyakum. You know better about your world. Anything to do with ukhrawi is fixed by Allah and the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So anything to do with belief, aqidah, no change. No minus and plus here or there. Just follow what Allah have guided the early generation. Like what Allah have said in the Quran, Surah Al-Baqarah. Yeah? Allah said, فَإِنْ آمَنُوا بِمِثْلِ مَا آمَنْتُمْ بِهِ فَقَدْ اهْتَدُوا. If you will believe like how the early generation have believed, you will be guided. Because anything to do with aqidah, ibadah mahdah, you don't need any changes at all, plus or minus. But dunya, you are free. Like I just said, now they come up with this umbrella, it's dunya. You want to wear, you wear. You want to use, you use. You don't want, it's up to you. Yeah. Or some people said, if I cannot wear a cap, can I wear the mini umbrella? Yeah, to protect, yeah, the sun, yeah, because it's very hot sometimes. Yeah. So yes, it's allowed as long as it's not a cap, but the mini umbrella is something you can just wrap it back here and then a small one. Your hand is very free, you know. Alhamdulillah. I still remember that mini umbrella concept was introduced by one of my friends from America before. That was in the 70s. 70, they have come up with that idea, so that you are free. You don't have to hold an umbrella. Yeah? That is okay. Anything that is not really fixed, you know, directly on the head. Yeah? Okay. Now we understand the two things that I'm trying to share with all the good sisters and brother, that if you know that there is a scholarly opinion, fair enough, we honor their scholarly opinion, but when there's evidence, we must honor their fatwa, because all scholars will always remind their student, anytime you come across a hadith and evidence against our opinion, just abandon our opinion. Anas hadith indicate that the people will be resurrected in their shrouds. However, when Abu Sa'id al-Khudri was close to death, he asked for some new clothes, wore them, and said that he heard Allah's Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Innal bayta yub'asu fi thiyabi allati yamutu fiha." A deceased will be resurrected in the clothes in which he died. Yeah. But the clothes must be in a form like a shroud. It's not like a dress. Yeah. It should be noted that the hadith regarding shaheed indicate that they will be resurrected in the clothes in which they were killed. This is based on other hadiths. People who are fighting in the cause of Allah in the battlefield, of course they wear normal dressing. They don't wear ihram. They wear their normal dress. And if they are killed, then you bury them with that kind of clothes. Don't change. You don't even wash them. Just bury them. Yeah, they're injured. Yeah, they were killed in the battlefield. Those who are killed in the battlefield. But those who were killed after the battlefield, of course, then everything will go back to normal. Yeah, but those who are killed in the battlefield, you don't have no time to do anything. Dig a hole for them. You just let them go in. Yeah. It is possible that Abu Sa'id applied this to other dead people, not realizing that there is an explicit hadith indicating that they will be resurrected in their shrouds. It's not been noted further that this does not conflict with the hadith indicating that the people will be gathered naked on judgment days. It may be understood that they will first be resurrected in their shrouds or clothes, which will then be removed from them when they are all gathered in the preparation for al-akhirah, al-hisab. Remember, after everybody will be resurrected, then it's up to Allah to decide that everybody have to go naked again. And the first to have a garment is Prophet. Who? Which prophet? Is Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam. Why? Because he was been naked and thrown in the fire in this life. And that's why Allah give him a garment first in the day of judgment. And the garment will come from Jannah. The first to enter paradise is our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, but the one who is given the garment of paradise is Ibrahim alayhi salam. A lot of things that happened between Ibrahim and Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that we can learn from. That is why each time when you perform your prayer, you make salawat, you always link back with Abraham alayhi salam. Hanifan. Number of sheets. It is best to shroud the body in 3 plain sheets of clothes. Aisha, the wife of our beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, reported, meaning Allah's Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam was shrouded in 3 white cotton Yamani sheets from Sahul. None of them was a shirt or a turban. That means they don't cut it as a shirt, but just a sheet from Sahul. None of them was a shirt or a turban. He was simply put over and wrapped in them. This clearly indicates that the sheet did not have any buttons, nor was any of them a shirt, as was mentioned in the weak report. Meaning some people may have some report to say that you can do it like a shirt and so on, but that was based on a weak hadith. Now, it is permissible to shroud the body in less than 3 sheets, as in the case of the man in ihram who was shrouded only 2. Ihram is only 2. On other hand, it is not recommended to use more than 3 sheets, because that would exceed the number of sheets used to shroud Allah's Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That means anything you do excessively is not recommended. It's just like when you want to make wudu, minimum 1 time, maximum 3 times. Don't exceed more than that. When you do that, but you say, I'm not happy, I'm not satisfied. No, don't go according to your satisfaction. It goes according to the Sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Furthermore, that would be an act of extravagance and waste of money, as will be explained below. The above applies to both man and woman, as for the report saying that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam was shrouded in 7 sheets, or that his daughter was shrouded in 5 sheets. They are all weak evidence. As a Muslim, if you encounter some evidence say this, some evidence say that, now it's important for the people of knowledge to know why the hadith seems to contradict each other. Authentic hadith will not contradict. Will not contradict. It's just like the authentic Sunnah cannot go against the Quran. If Quran say riba haram, you never come the saying of the Prophet come across any of the say that riba is okay. If they said raswa is haram, never the Prophet riswa is okay. When Allah say haram, the Prophet authentic hadith must confirm. That's number 1. Rule number 1 to know that the hadith is authentic. It cannot go against the book of Allah. The second reference is that the Prophet Sunnah is here to explain more detail. That's how it goes. To give us some details about what Allah wants us to do. Yeah? This is very important for us to understand. A lot of people, when you talk about Sunnah, if they don't like, if they are not used to it, they say, we are following the opinion of this scholar. Yeah. If that's what they want to do, we pray may Allah give them guidance. Yeah. That means they are not open to the Sunnah at all. Yeah. We are worried sometimes about this, because the Prophet did mention, I remind all our team who is going to Medina, please, your intention of going to Medina must be correct. If you say you love the Prophet, you must show, yeah, to yourself at least, that you want to follow the Sunnah of the Prophet. No point visiting the graveyard of the Prophet, give salam, and in the same time you do things against his teaching. Yeah? And I also remind the men, please, I want you all, because I'm not there to be with them, please try to follow, yeah, the date, yeah, the funeral to the graveyard in Baqi, and witness by yourself how do they, yeah, arrange the burial. How simple, straightforward, no flower, no water, no Quran recitation, clear cut. You just bring the body down, bury it, and then make some dua, khalas. And you see some people who have the right understanding, when coming close to the burial ground, the place when to bring the body into the grave, they will put their slipper outside, yeah, to show some respect that they are entering the burial ground where there is left and right some, yeah, graveyard already, so that we do not step on other people's grave. Now when you don't have shoes or sandal, you are more careful with your walking. You look, you do not want to step on something that may cause harm to your leg. When you have all these shoes, then you may overlook. One of the adab is to make sure that you don't step on other people's graveyard. Yeah? Here, if you do it, sometimes it becomes an issue. Yeah? Because people don't understand the Sunnah. People understand the traditional way more than the teaching of our beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Yeah? So it's important for us to try to follow the Sunnah of the Prophet as much as we can. The shroud colors, even though there is no restriction in regard to the color of the kafan, yeah, it is best to use white shroud. Highly recommended. If there's no white one, then whatever color you can use, as long as you cover the body. Yeah. It's also recommended to use striped shroud, the one that you have some design so that it can cover the aura better. Yeah. It can cover the aura better. Yeah. That's why the woman hardly recommend, we hardly recommend women to use white garments. Majority, if you go to the Middle East, the woman dress dark color. The men, they wear the white one. Yeah? Because the woman body have more to show compared with the men. Yeah? And it's important for the woman to dress properly, especially when they sweat or when there's water. Yeah? Then it won't see through. Yeah? Even though there's no restriction in regards to the color, it is best to use white. It's also recommended to use stripe. These two qualities can be simultaneously fulfilled by either using a striped shroud, which is predominantly white, or by wrapping the body with two white and one striped shroud. The important thing is to make sure it really covers the aura of the deceased. Now, brothers and sisters, you'll see how, yeah, Islam honor the Muslim right to cover the aura. When you are alive, you should learn how to cover your aura. Even after you die, you still have to cover your aura. We do not know, if the people who, when they are still alive, they don't like to cover the aura. But whether they like it or not, when they die, we have to cover the aura. Islamically, that's what we have to do. Ibn Abbas also reported that Allah's Messenger said, meaning, one of the clothing available to you, wear the white. Of the clothing available to you, wear the white, for very is your best form of clothing. Shroud your dead with it as well. Samura bin Jundub, all these are the companions of the Prophet ﷺ. When you know that, how can you know they are the companion of the Prophet? How can we know that they are the companion of the Prophet? How can we know? Now you go back to Nawawi, if you can. You go back to the next page, the page that we have gone through earlier. Which page is that? There is page 114. Do you see the open and close bracket there after Nawawi? Look at that, that sign. Close and open bracket after An-Nawawi. What is written there? What is written there? Look at the letter. What is written there? Rahimallah. Now look at this, the second one. The page 116. Ibn Abbas and Samura bin Jundub. What is written in the open and close bracket? Radiyallahu anhu. That is the difference. One, there is the title Radiyallahu anhu, only apply to companions of the Prophet. The non-companion, you don't call them Radiyallahu anhu. You don't call Abu Hanifa, Imam Shafi'i, Imam Maliki, Imam Ahmad. They are all great scholars. You don't call them Radiyallahu anhu. You call them Rahimallah. And because they are not companions. That is to show us that, one, you are not the companion of the Prophet, you don't have that title. So it's very wrong for us to give title to anybody, because these are given by Allah. Radiyallahu anhum wa radu an was given by Allah to the companion who lived in the time of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Understand, inshallah. No, Sayyidina anybody can be given, not by Allah. This is also a lot of Sayyid, we call them Sayyid, Sayyidina. Our Sayyid, our Tuan. We call him. They did call our Prophet. The companion did honor him in that manner once, but he stopped them. He said, Ana Muhammad ibn Abdullah ibn Abi Talib Abduhu wa Rasuluhu. I am Muhammad, the son of Abdullah and the grandson of Abdul Muttalib. So, and I am the messenger and the servant of Allah. Alhamdulillah, our Prophet was given by Allah a very important title, Rasulullah. But in the same time, he was a very humble man. That's why when people want to call him Sayyid, he said no. When the people want to put him in the level that is so high and glorify him, he said, don't glorify me like how the early nation glorified Isa, to the extent now Isa is no more a human to them. He become God to them. The Prophet are very careful about all these things. You should love him, but you should love him in the way he want you to love him. You show respect to him in the way he want you to show respect, not in our own way. Now, Samura bin Jundub radiyallahu anhu reported that Allah's messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Albasu thiyab al-bayda fa innaha adharu wa atib wa kaffanu fiha mautakum." Wear white clothes because they are cleaner and better. Also shroud your dead in them. This is what the Prophet recommend highly. It's not that you can't use the colored one, but it's highly recommended to have the white color. Jabir bin Abdullah radiallahu an. Now, can you see the open and close bracket, the difference in Jabir and in Samura? What is the difference? Look at it. What is the difference? You can see there is an alif at the end. Yeah? Where Samura don't have alif. And you look at Ibn Abbas also have an alif. You see that? Can you notice the difference? Okay. Now what is the difference between without the alif and with alif? When there is an alif, that means the father is also a Muslim, is also the companions of the Prophet. Yeah. Ibn Umar radiallahu anhuma, because there is a huma, ma and then alif. That means Jabir is the companion of the Prophet, and Abdullah, the father, is also the companion of the Prophet. Both are Muslims. Yeah. Where Samura bin Jundub, he is a companion, he became a Muslim, but the father is not. Then radiallahu anhu. You cannot put the father who are not a believer to be in the same level with the believer. Yeah. Because radiallahu anhu means the people that Allah is pleased with. How can Allah be pleased with those who commit shirk? He is not pleased with them. So they don't deserve that title. Yeah. Just some knowledge so that we are aware. Why radiallahu anhu? Why radiallahu anhuma? Yeah. Jabir bin Abdullah radiallahu anhuma reported that Allah's Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, yeah, the meaning, when one of you die, let him be shrouded in a striped cloth, if it is possible to find that for him. If you can get the one that is white and also striped with some design, yeah, that is to make sure that it's easy to cover the aura. Yeah. Even the ihram, if you look at the ihram for the men, you have different design. The one that have more design, it is better. It's not because of the design. Yeah, it's because it can cover the aura better. Yeah? Because sometimes if it's too plain, when they get involved with water, then sometimes you can see through, in a way. In another report from Jabir, Allah's Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that whoever can afford it, let him be shrouded in the striped clothes, because those who have designed normally is more expensive. Yeah, we know any embroidery kind of thing is more expensive than the plain one. Yeah. But cotton that is very popular in the time of the Prophet are from Yemen and from Egypt, these two countries. Yeah, they are good, in the cotton until today. Yeah. Egyptian cotton is very popular. Yeah. Perfuming, the shroud. It is recommended to perfume the shroud with incense an odd number of times, 3 or more, before wrapping the body on the garment, on the kain. You see, when you are in ihram, before you wear ihram, you can perfume your body, but not on the ihram. Body, yes. Then you what you wear your ihram. Your ihram may have some, but still it is okay, but not on ihram. But for the deceased, you put the perfume on the clothes. Then put the body. Perfuming the shroud, it is recommended to perfume the shroud with incense an odd number of times, 3 or more, because Allah loves the odd numbers. Inna Allah yuhibbul wit. Before wrapping the body in it, Jabir reported again that Allah's Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, say, "Iza jammaratumul mayt fa ajmiru thalasa." When you burn incense to perfume your dead, do it 3 times. In another report, Jabir even said again, when you burn incense to perfume your death, do it an odd number of times. Highly recommended that number. 1 minimum, 3 times, 5 times. A person who died in the state of ihram, however, may not be perfumed, because the Prophet ﷺ commanded it regard to the man who was thrown off by his camel while he was on his way to perform Hajj. He was thrown off by his camel and he died. Then the Prophet do not allow people to use perfume on his body. Moderateness in the shroud. It is not permissible to be extravagant. Pembaziran, known as the general istilah, innal mubazzirina kanu ikhwana shayatin wa kana shaitan li rabbihi kafura. In Surah Isra, Allah reminds us, do not do anything extravagant. They call pembaziran in our word, and all these things is what the shaitan love you to do, to waste. Shaitan loves us to waste. So we must not waste, because this is something that the Prophet ﷺ forbid and Allah forbid. But most of us, until today, fail to do this sometimes. Why? Because we are very emotional, very traditional people. We want to show to the living, to the family members, that we really love our dead one. We love them so much that we spend so much on them, doing things that not recommended by Islam. If you love Allah and the Prophet ﷺ Sunnah, you don't care what people want to say. As long as you know you are doing your best to follow the Sunnah. You remember what the Prophet said, "Kullu ummati yadkhuluna al-jannah illa man aba." All my ummah will go to paradise except those who refuse to go to paradise. Companion was shocked. How can a Muslim refuse to go to paradise? The Prophet said, the one who are Abba are those who reject my Sunnah. Man atani dakhala jannah. Whoever follow my Sunnah, obey my teaching, he will go to Jannah. Waman asani faqad aba, in Sahih Muslim, whoever disobey my teaching. Then you are not helping yourself, you are not helping the deceased. Now when somebody die, they are helpless, they cannot do anything. But what can we do if we know that our family like to do all this extravagant thing? You should write down a wasiyat. If I die, this is what I want you to do, and not this. If they still do it, you are not going to be questioned by Allah. They will be questioned by Allah. Remember that the Prophet did say, Innal mayita la yu'azzibu bi bukai ahli alay. In Sahih Bukhari, the Prophet said, the deceased will be punished. The deceased, the dead body will be punished in the graveyard is because of the wailing of the family members. You know, they are so emotional. They will cry, they beat their body. You must remind them, if I die, don't do this. You remember a story that I don't know I've shared with you earlier. When the man, a father who loved his children, you remember the story of a father who loved his children. He loved his children and he had many children. He had all the money to make them happy. Whatever the children want, he just give and give. So one day he gathered all the children. Do you love your father? He asked the children. The children said, of course. Who don't love a father who always give things to the children? Without the children asking, you give, you give. Who don't love this kind of father? This is the world number one father, you know. Then he said, can you do me just one favor? If I die, don't bury my body. You just have to burn my body. When it turns to ashes, keep it. Don't just throw the ashes into the sea or the river, but wait for a stormy day to come. And so when the winds come, you take out the ashes and then you let it go. Why he do that? Why do he command his children to do that? Because of his fear towards hellfire. He believes strongly that hellfire exists. And he knows that he's not that good. But the fear towards the hellfire is so great in him that he said, please don't bury my body, then my body will be tortured. Now if it turned to ashes, then the body is no more there. You know? Then in the day of judgment, according to the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, Allah will ask this man, why do you do that? He says, I fear your punishment, O Allah. I fear your punishment. And Allah smiled at him when he was, Allah knows, you know, what is in his heart, but Allah just wants him to declare. It's like when you commit sin, Allah knows. But Allah wants you to confess, oh Allah, I have sinned A, sin B, sin C. Forgive my sin. He loves you to do that. Yeah. But majority of us have no time to do that kind of correction. You see, oh Allah, forgive my dosa zahir batin. Khalas. But it's good to be more specific. Mention. With Allah, you don't have to tell your loved one. You tell the loved one, good. He will remember until he died. Then he'll come after you. If there's a problem, you remember. You are like this, you are so evil. You have admit, you have confessed. Human is like to Allah. When you commit and when you confess, Allah will just erase it. That's how it goes. Yeah. That's why I remind all the people who are doing tawaf, talk to Allah. Ask Allah for all the forgiveness that you want. And mention the sin that you have committed to Allah, not to anyone else. Allah loved that. Abu'u laka bi ni'matika alayya wa abu'u bi zambi faghfirli. That is Sayyidul Istighfar. Yeah? Anyhow, moderateness in the shroud. It is not permissible to be extravagant because this is the work of Satan, or excessively enshrouding the dead. That would be a waste of money. Yeah? That should rather be used for the living people, or do some charity for the deceased. Al-Mughira bin Shu'bah radiyallahu an reported that Allah's Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, Inna Allaha kariha lakum thalatha, qil wa qal, wa ida'atul mal, wa qasratul su'al. Allahu Akbar. Indeed, Allah hates 3 acts for you. 3 things that Allah dislikes. Number 1, qila wa qal, gossiping, wasting time in talking about things that do not benefit you. Talking about people, complaining is something that Allah dislikes. Anything that is not good, you reflect. Maybe there is some hasanat that you will get from that. anything. Anything good, you try to benefit out from the good thing that you see, the good thing that people are talking about, so that you can just follow their good character. Wasting money is also something Allah don't like. You have money to spend, alhamdulillah, but don't waste. What do you mean by wasting money? What do you think by wasting money? If you can buy expensive food, is that a waste? It will be a waste is this thing you don't really need. If you really need, then it is okay for you. After you give zakat and do other things, you have extra, you can, in a way, pamper your body for a while. But don't buy everything that you hardly need it. If you want to buy special sabun for your body, special cream, no problem. But you are using. We do not want, you just buy, you just want the branded one there, but hardly you use, and it wastes, and then it spoils. And that is called, it's a waste. We know you have money, but you don't have to buy thing and then think that you don't use. You buy for your own use, is okay. And frequent asking. Just ask for the sake of asking. Not because you really are confused. You just like to ask. For nothing, you keep on asking. We don't know why. Maybe there are two things for people who like to ask. Sometimes they want to ask to tell you that they know. Not they do not know. They ask because they know. And the second group is just asking for the fun of asking. Not for the intention to learn. So this three things is good for us to stay away, inshallah, because it's a waste of time. Gossiping is a waste of time. When we are in Mecca, people ask us what is the best thing for us to do other than tawaf sunnah, because a lot of people is still saying Umrah 1, Umrah 2, Umrah 3, and then sometimes they saw some people, the old lady, is so weak, but still they go for Umrah 4, Umrah 5. I say you go for Tawaf 1, Tawaf 2, Tawaf 3, Tawaf 4. But they have a lot of time, then read the Quran, because that is the best place. Because you are not occupied with the dunya, with Allah, recite the Quran. It helps you to finish the Quran very fast if you are in Makkah. But there are the people who love to tawaf also, tawaf in the shopping complex. From one mall to another mall, also another tawaf dunyawi, they say. But Islam never forbids you, because in Saudi, Mecca especially, we have everything in the world is there. You just name it, they have it. Because the people that come there is from around the world. That's why you have all the world product there. In this regard, the great scholar Siddiq Hassan Khan say, it is not praiseworthy to use too many sheets for shrouding, nor be extravagant in their cause, had it not been enjoined in the Shar, because it's not according to the Shara. It would have been a total waste of money, because the dead does not benefit from it, nor would it have a return benefit to the living. May Allah have mercy on Abu Bakr as-Siddiq, who, when he asked for an old piece of cloth to be used for shrouding him, he was told it is old. Then he replied, the living deserve the new clothes more than the dead. See how humble this caliph. They said, we are dead, but the new clothes is better on the living. In the Quran, Allah mentioned few ayah. It's good for us to reflect. Number one, Allah said, وَلَا تَزِرُ وَازِرَةٌ وِزْرَ أُخْرَى وَأَلَيْسَ لِلْإِنسَانِ إِلَّا مَا سَعَى. And the last one, إِنَّكَ لَا تُسْمِعُ مَنْ فِي الْقُبُورِ. Allah Rabbul Alameen is telling us through His beloved Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, when we die, everybody is responsible to their own deeds. Nobody carry the burden of others. You have your sin, I have my sin. Everybody will be responsible to their own sin and their own deeds. And people will not be rewarded or be responsible except what they have earned in this life. You do the good deeds, you will be rewarded according to your good deeds. You do anything bad, you will be responsible to what you have done. And remember that Allah even mentioned to our Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, you Muhammad cannot make those who are in the grave hear you anymore. Innaka la tusmi'u man fil kubur. You Muhammad cannot make the one in the grave hear you anymore. You can pray for them, but you cannot teach them anything because they can't hear you anymore. Yeah. And today, with the way we treat the dead like they can still hear you, but they can hear us. It's a one way. Yeah. It's just like Imam in Khutbah Jum'ah, he can talk to you and you can respond to the Imam, but you cannot talk among yourself. In Jum'ah, you know, woman is not recommended to go for Jum'ah prayer. But once you are in Mecca, since you are there, and a lot of women is participating, only the local may not participate because they know you give more space to the foreigners, to the Hujjaj. But please, don't talk when the Imam is giving his khutbah. Once you talk, then your Jummah is lagha. Go to waste. Khalas. Yeah. But a lot of people who hardly perform Jummah prayer, once they are there, they will talk. Why they talk? Number one, they don't understand the khutbah. The khutbah is in. Even you don't understand. It's like praying. You don't understand, but you must listen. Yeah. If not, then you don't go. Yeah. The saying of Abu Bakr as-Siddiq. Now, when you talk about Abu Bakr as-Siddiq, when he was dying, I mean when he was the Khalifa of the Prophet. Because the Prophet passed away before him. And then he became the Khalifa. Now, Omar only can be the Khalifa when Abu Bakr passed away. Yeah. In the time of the Prophet, the way the leadership in Islam is very unique. The pioneer, the senior who are still able to lead, they should. But all these leaders in the time of the Prophet, they are not just leader in the community. They are leader in the prayer. They are the imam. They are the one who gives sermon. They are easy to reach out. Allahu Akbar. These are the leaders. Dunya and Akhirah. Yeah. So when he passed away, then that's why, before he passed away, people say, maybe you should use a new one. He said, no, the new one is for the living. I have an understanding from the other believers who are not yet Muslim. You hardly see the graveyard. They hardly have graveyards. And you ask them, why don't you have your own graveyards? Even they have already before, but they don't believe that you should be buried on this earth. Because the earth is for the living, they say. You better burn your body to ashes and then you throw it in the river or in the sea. Just do that. Because the earth is for the living. The dead don't need yeah, to be buried here anymore. You can just throw them in the water, but if you throw them in the form of body, that is not good. It smells. So you burn it, and then the ashes you just throw it. Yeah? They have also another idea. But to us, yes, you should bury them. We came from the earth, and to the earth we return, from dust to dust. So what is important, brothers and sisters, we hope that we are humble enough to make sure that our death follow the Sunnah. Not only when we die, when we are alive, we follow the Sunnah. Even when we die, we want our body to be arranged in the way that we follow the Sunnah of the Prophet Sallallahu. Whatever people that say, let them say, as long as you are following the Sunnah, inshallah, you will qualify yourself to enter Al-Jannah. So inshallah, the last thing I'd like to share with you about the special cases shrouding a man in state of ihram. A man who dies in the state of ihram should be shrouded in the 2 ihram pieces in which he died. You don't change, because Ibn Abbas radiallahu anhuma, earlier hadith regarding the man who died in the state of ihram, the Prophet commanded us and shroud him in the 2 garments in which he performed ihram. Do not embalm or perfume him, and do not cover his head or face. That means normally when you wash a dead body, you cover the head, you only expose the face. But now if he died in the state of ihram, you should not cover his head. Let his head be exposed, and the face, inshallah. If there's any question and answer about this area, now we open for Q&A. Fatafaddal.
Ustaz, you mentioned just now regarding Solat Janazah. You said if there's one person doing it, have done it, that's good enough. But as we understand, the more if you can get at least 100, it would be better than that. So it is okay to wait for more people to come and do it. For instance, you don't have to bury it at night. You can wait because the next day,
morning,
yeah,
it's good. But the law is that if one have performed the funeral prayer, that means the body is ready to be buried.
Right.
If none, then you have to wait. Because it's the duty of the ummah. But the more people who attend the funeral is better for the deceased and better for those who are still alive. Right. Because you get the reward of 1 qirat, the Mount of Uhud. This year in Haram, mashallah, sometime the announcement that after Zohar prayer or Asr prayer, there are 2 funeral prayer, one after one. Because when they finish the first set, then there is announcement that is coming again, so we wait, and then the second funeral prayer is being conducted. Alhamdulillah. So it gives us the opportunity to collect a lot of reward. What you say is true, but I'm just saying when necessity is concerned, darura, as long as one person has performed, when nobody is coming anymore, then you can start to bury the deceased.
Ustaz, tadi Ustaz ada cakap, when you die in ihram, you don't perfume them and you don't embalm them.
Yes.
Does it mean that dulu kita boleh buat embalming?
Again, can we do embalming for other cases?
I mean, we cannot do embalming, right? Kita orang Islam.
The embalming is when there is a necessity. Meaning, if they have problem of people to arrange people to wash the body, take time, and then people to the burial ground take time, so you can embalm the body so that the body don't. I would say that it won't.
So boleh lah.
Yes.
Okay.
For a reason.
Another thing is in ihram, Okay, if let's say someone dies in ihram, but he already did his tahlul, will that be considered as in ihram still?
Yeah. When you are out from ihram, then you are out from ihram. You can just, but you can still use the ihram clothes. But you can wash him, perfume him, because they are out from the ihram already. But if you want to use the ihram, you can still use. But you can use perfume on them because they are out from ihram. What you say is true. After they have tahlul, and then the way back they pass away. Of course, you can change and do it normal kind of shrouding.
We were talking about shrouding tadi, at least 3 pieces. But nowadays we see that when they kafan the female, after they kafan, they put on the telekung. What's the ruling on that? You see a few cases where they put on telekung.
That's why we say that a lot of people is coming with their good intention, but according to the Prophet's way is better. Yeah? Not to be in the form of a dress. To show that the difference between the clothes of kafan and the normal dressing. I highly recommend to follow the Sunnah. Yeah.
Lagi satu last. Okay, tadi Ustaz kata between radiyallah and rahimullah.
No.
Rahimullah is actually not the sahabat of Nabi, but they're actually scholars.
Yes.
What about the scholars nowadays? Can we call them rahimullah? Is there a time period where you can call rahimullah?
Until today, people still use rahimullah. Yeah. Yeah, you can, because after that, whatever you use is up to you. But that title specially given by Allah, radiyallahu anhu. You don't have the rahimullah in the Quran, but you have radiyallahu anhu in the Quran. Yeah, they use even until today.
So kalau macam nama ustaz kita boleh buat rahimullah belakang.
Yeah, lah. But you must be careful whether that will make them, develop their egos and so on. No? Yeah, it's very important. The status is good for us to respect a scholar, but it's also very dangerous for the scholars. No? Scholars are none of the scholars, Shafi'i, Hanbali, want people to praise him in that manner. Only people give that honor because of their scholarly character, their knowledge. So people show respect to them. They don't call him when they were alive in that manner. They have a full name, but after they pass away, they give them that kind of respect. Now,
Assalamualaikum Ustaz, it's me.
Walaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Some people might think that I ask questions just to annoy people, but
don't worry about what people think. As long as you know what your intention
yeah,
is.
I know the answer, but sometimes I ask the question because to inform the other members.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good intention too.
Earlier on, you were talking about if you don't want your family to bury you or conduct the funeral according to the non-sunnah way, you should do a wasiat. But supposing if you've been sick and you didn't do any wasiat, and they do it, so you will be paying for it, right? You'll
be responsible.
Be responsible for their committing the sins or the bid'ah. So I'm wondering, what about what happened yesterday? I watched on TV the relatives of the Sultan and what they did. It's all bid'ah. So accordingly, he will be suffering, or
We do not know, but you see what happened to the Muslim in general. We have a lot of tradition involved today. To to the extent that we do not know what we can entertain and what we should not. And that's why I quote that it is the best for those who know that this thing can happen. They should leave a wasiyat. I still remember a case where this jama'ah, because they are a normal person, it's easy. You know, when you are somebody, you must make sure that you remind them. If not, then it's very difficult. Because the living always want to give the best. And then sometimes the way they think of doing and give the best is not according to the Shara. No? Now, this man is our jama'ah, but very, I would say that he's been very respected too in the community. But what happened, because he remembered what we have taught him, what the Prophet said about this, when he was in the ICU, when he was able to speak, he informed the doctor who attended to him. He said, "Doctor, please remind my children if anything happened to me." What he said, he said, "Please contact, I want my body and everything to be done by this organization." They mentioned my name, but so happened I was not here when he passed away. So the people called me and said, "Never mind, as long as our Jama'ah is here, we have to fulfill his wasiyat." And then we contact other members who are well versed about the Sunnah, to perform it. So Alhamdulillah, the doctor managed to remind the family members. As long as you have done something, you have reminded something, if they do not follow up, it's not your mistake anymore. It's not your wrongdoing. That's why why did the Prophet say that? Innal mayit la yu'azzibu bi bukai ahli alayh. Because it happened. Whatever happened before, it's going to happen again. So before anything get out of control, we have the right to demand what we want. But if the people do not do, you are not at fault at all. But we pray, may Allah forgive all the ummah. Yeah.
I don't think this will happen in Perlis, because the mufti there is very sunnah. But no bat
With people
and
have
drums.
knowledge. Yeah.
Drums, well, the coffin's being lowered into the ground. Oh, na'uzubillah.
May Allah guide all of us, inshallah.
Ameen.
Any other question? One more. Now, the sister may want to question without recording, or you want to recite without. Just announcement about the lecture tour to Spain. Tentatively dates October 27 to 5th November. October 27 to 5th November this year, 2017. The itinerary, the tentative itinerary is 2 nights Madrid, 1 night Toledo, 1 night Sevilla, 1 night Cordoba, 2 night Granada, inshallah. So whoever would like to join this tour can refer back to Sister Zuleika. Yeah. This is a lecture tour to Spain. Yeah. Last question. Any last question from? Again? I can't hear you. Yeah, they are trying to organize a lecture. That's mean. When we were in Mecca, we were called by the non Arabs community to give a khutbah in Jeddah last Friday. Alhamdulillah. Now, sis, anyone from behind want to ask anything? Nothing? Come back to you again, sis. Pass the microphone.
This is regarding what we do for the deceased. Because my father has just passed away, and even though what I have learned here, I mean, what is certain things they do, relatives and friends, nothing we can stop. So I just want to be more sure. That's why I'm asking you again. And I'm sure these questions have been asked before. We just want to reconfirm. Now, regarding the Sadaqa al-Fatiha. See, when people come and visit the dead, they will baca al-Fatiha. We know that the amal stops when he dies. But they say Sadaqah, the Fatiha. Can you comment on that? That's one question. Another question is recitation of Surah Yasin or any surah of the Quran or even zikir for the dying person. We know for a fact that if the person passes away, we should not be doing that. But this one is for the person who is dying, right? And they say you can do it, okay? And I can't stop it. So that's why I want to ask Ustad to tell me again so that I can tell them with, explain to them properly.
Now the first thing, if the dead person taught the living how to recite Al-Fatiha. If I'm a teacher of Quran, I'm teaching my student Al-Fatiha, now you teaching your children how to recite. Each time your children recite Fatiha, there's nothing for her or for him to say, Sadaqa for my mother. She will get the reward for reciting the Quran, and you will get the reward because you are the one who taught them how to recite the Quran. This is ilmun yuntafa'u bihi, knowledge that benefit the living. So you still get the reward. Yeah, because the Prophet said when a person died, three things, everything is cut off except three things. Sadaqa, his Sadaqa. That means if you really want to give Sadaqa, whatever property left behind from the deceased, we use this property after giving back we pay his debts, whatever debts he have, the wasiat is done. The extra, the family can sit down, this is some extra, let us use the money left by the deceased for Sadaqah. That is the way to do the Sadaqah, not the way like we are doing now. We recite and Sadaqah. The Prophet only said, make dua for them. Ask Allah to forgive their sin. Istaghfiru li'aqikum. That's all what the Prophet wants us to do. So it is our way of expressing this kind of deeds. I recite Al-Fatiha, Sadaqah. But it's not been done by our Prophet.
So nothing goes to him?
Unless each time when you recite the Quran that the person who died, taught you, you'll get the reward, inshallah. Yeah? Coming back about reciting when people who are dying, when people come and visit them, they want to recite the Quran. What the Prophet recommend is the best. The recitation of Yasin for those who are dying is not based on very authentic hadith. There's a lot of hadiths about Yasin. Some are authentic, some are not. But what is very clear, very authentic, the Prophet said, Lakinu ala mautakum la ilaha illallah. When a person is very sick, they don't need a lot of, what you call a lot of disturbance. They need to have a very peaceful environment. You don't need to have a lot of sound recitation. Just recite La ilaha illallah. Very simple, very straightforward. I'll give you an example. If the person don't memorize Yasin, you recite Yasin at that point of time, it irritates him more. You make a lot of sound, talking, arguing, discussing, and he can hear you. It irritates him more. What to do, whoever are close to the one who's dying, just remind him, father, mother, brother, don't forget to say, La ilaha illallah, La ilaha illallah, laqinu mautakum, la. This is what the Prophet said. This is the best thing to do for those who are dying. Not any other recitation. Of course, if you ask, then what should I do? If you don't recite Quran, then what should we do? We gossip. Gossip is not allowed. Not only when people are dying, even when you are healthy, you are not supposed to gossip. But it's better to do what the Prophet wants us to do. To say, La ilaha illallah. Take turn. You can call them to take turn. You go for 2-3 minutes. Excuse yourself. The seconds, brothers, sisters, or children come and do the same thing. Keep on reminding him. La ilaha illallah. Now, we believe that people who are dying, Sakratul Maut, it is really a battle, a jihad going on. Satan is trying to disturb them, and the angel of mercy also is there, and hope that he will not end his life without saying La ilaha illallah. But the Satan will keep on to think of this, think of that, think of the loved one, thing that he loved to do. That kind of thing will come into him. So that's why we must help him to bring him back to La ilaha illallah. It's a struggle. If only we know, if there's a movie to show you, some kind of technology, laser to catch what is going on. But you can't. It's really a struggle that the Prophet said, when Sakratul Maut is coming closer to you, the Satan is going to play his last role to make sure that you don't say La ilaha illallah. So that is the best thing to recite.
So it is the bid'ah if you want to recite.
I do not want to come to that conclusion. I would say that people who are doing that all have good intention, but they do not know which one was recommended by the Prophet. They thought that is reciting Quran was wrong. Can you say reciting Quran is wrong? No. But why not you recite what the Prophet wants you to recite? Like going to the graveyard and recite Quran. The Quran is not for the dead. They have nothing to do anymore. If you really love the deceased, just try to do what the Prophet recommend the living to do on behalf of the deceased. Or Sadaqa. And make dua. Be righteous children. Waladun saleh yad'u lahu. Righteous children who pray for their parent, Allah will not reject. Don't just call people to pray, but you yourself are not praying. You can do it by yourself. That's why it's so important to make sure you have the upbringing of the children is righteous, so that you don't have to worry anymore. Today we have a lot to worry because our children are not righteous. So we have to work very hard on them. One, they are righteous, Allahu Akbar, is really a ni'mah. Because they will know what to do after we die. They remember the good deeds. They remember the good friend we have, the good company. They will always have a Sirat Rahim with the family's good friend. Why? Because that's what the Prophet said. One of the things that the children can show to the parent that they are dutiful to them even after they pass away, by having good relation with the people that the parent are close to. So the good people will always remind them about their parent. You know your father, and do you know your mother was so? There is a prayer for them. Now children, don't have a good link with the people who are close to their parents. They thought, this is my parents' friend, not my friend. Today's children is like that. But you hope when the children become righteous, they will know what to do. Or at least you get the children close to the scholar who understand the Quran and Sunnah, so that they will remind the children what to do after their parents pass away. But again, tradition is very difficult for us to encounter it. But we keep on praying. We do our best. We hope as times change, people will start to realize that follow the way of the Prophet is the best, not follow our tradition and our norm. Because following the Sunnah, there is a guarantee from the Prophet. Whoever follow my Sunnah, he will go to paradise. Whoever follow other way, what guarantee you have? There's no guarantee. So it's up to us whether you want to be close to the Prophet or you want to be close to the community. But if you do to please the people, what will happen in the day of judgment? Allah is going to question us. Why do you do that? If for them, then go to them. Go to them, ask them to reward you now. That's how it goes. To Allah, it's very simple. If you still believe that they are the one can give you reward, you follow them is the best, then in the day of judgment, Allah will say, go and look for them, call them to reward you now. Because you don't do what I want you to do. Neither you obey my messengers that I send to you. But you still want to do what the people want to do. So in the day of judgment, Allah will call you to go to them, ask them to reward you. Do you think they can reward us? Do you think they can help you? No. يَوْمْ يَفِرْ مَرْءُ مِنْ أَخِي وَأُمِّهِ وَأَبِي وَصَاحِبَتِهِ وَبَنِي. That day everybody will just run away. Nafsi, 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 please. I have to save my own soul. Now they can tell you everything. That day, nafsi, nafsi. The one who really will look for you is our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Whoever follow his sunnah, you are guaranteed by him. If you ask me, give me a choice, I will choose our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam because this is what Allah wants me to do. What people want to say about me, I don't bother. They can say, because I'm not living, I do not live because of them. I will not die because of them. I live for the sake of Allah. Inna salati wa nusuki wa mahyaya wa mamati lillahi rabbil alamin. This is what we promise to Allah. We want to live according to Allah's will, and we want to die according to His Sharia, inshallah. May Allah strengthen our iman, give us the right spirit, so that inshallah we all, like what Allah said, وَالسَّابِقُونَ الْأَوَّلُونَ مِنَ الْمُحَاجِرِينَ وَالْأَنصَارِ وَالَّذِينَ اتَّبَعُوهُمْ بِإِحْسَانٍ. And those who follow the companions of the Prophet, inshallah, that how Allah is pleased with the companion, He will be pleased with those who follow the companion of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. وَبِلَا تَوْفِقِ وَالْأَقْرِ دَعْوَانَا وَالْحَمْدُ لِلَّهِ رَبِّل الْعَالَمِينَ. Lastly, brothers and sisters, next Wednesday the class is if everything goes well, that means the class is off again. Off is off, because I won't be here. But if Allah said I will be here, then the class will be on. So because tomorrow we have a trip to attend overseas. There's a conference going on, and we are leaving tomorrow, inshallah. Subhanakallahumma bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah wa barakatuh.